Hi trader, welcome to the weekly Forex overview where we take a look at some critical patterns on the majors. First of all though, be aware that this video is shown to a global audience but may not be suitable for everyone. Take a look at admiralmarketsglobal.com, select your country of residence and contact the appropriate entity for more details. Also please be aware that trading for exchange and global financial markets is considered high risk. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. By continuing watching this video, you agree with this disclaimer and you are aware of the risk involved when trading. Let's kick off this video with taking a review of the dollar-yen 4-hour chart. And I have this fib on. As you can see, that's the breakout of a downtrend channel from the daily chart. This purple line price basically broke through that and is now making a hook back. This is a classical break pullback. And in my opinion, I'm expecting a continuation. The 38.2 fib, I think, is a logical spot for a turnaround, and that's what I showed in my wave analysis when price was right at the 38.2 fib, marking that here or the 50 fib should be the turning spot. So it seems like price is responding to it right now. I think that once this candle closes, such as it is, or maybe stronger or even more bullish, that could be a price action signal, a candlestick pattern basically, bounce at the 38.2 fib. So that would indicate a continuation up to the target. For instance, the 105 at the minus 272. It could go a lot further than that, depending on how price continues with this upside. If we see a lot of these bull flags, the yens love those flags. Once it starts to trend, then you'll see a lot of those flags. And if I do see those flags, I think they'll be great for continuation. So as you know, as long as the dollar yen and other yen pairs keep making these flags and keep breaking those, I think it could really push substantially here to the upside. For the moment, the 38.2 fib I think is a bouncing spot. I would not expect price to break below the 50 fib. It could be that price still basically corrects or retraces back down to the 50, depending on how this 4-hour candle works out. And if we can break this top, if we get a triangle in here, there could always be a complex correction here down to the 50, but I would expect to bounce at the 50. My bullish analysis is invalidated though if price were to break below the 61.8 fib. In that case, that basically marks, from my point of view, the end of the uptrend. I'm in a neutral point, basically neutral analysis at that point. So what does this breakout potentially mean for the longer term? What kind of target could I expect later on? I said 105, but really if this is the start of an uptrend, we see that this was a downtrend channel, of course, and price was hesitating to continue in this zone. And I was saying it has to break through support for a movement to 95, or if it breaks the channel, it can go up. It's doing that. It still has to break the top for a higher high here at 104.40. That still needs to be done. Once that breaks, we got a higher high. But really, if this is the start of an uptrend, and it certainly could be, then what I would be doing is let's take a look at it from this perspective. Basically, this is a 50 fib off the weekly chart. We got a good momentum here. And if we put a contrarian fib here, right, on the downside so far that we've had since last year, the correction, then it could go up to the 23.6 fib easily. That's only 105, but actually it could go up to the 38.2 fib, 109, even the 50 fib, 112. That's pretty easy target, I think, even if it were to expand lower like this, which I don't necessarily expect. But if we want to be cautious, then we can put a fib from here to here, and you can see there's plenty of space to go to the upside and even retrace resistance fibs like this. Let me zoom into a lower time frame instead. Looking at the hourly, you can see not only the fib, but the Keltner. That's part of the MetaTrader 4 Supreme Edition Admiral Keltner indicator, among a lot of things like mini terminal and a lot of for instance, helps regarding trade management and alarm management. Those are all very useful things with the MT4 Supreme Edition. 100 plus extra features. One of those is the Keltner. And you see the awesome oscillator also turning. So those are just some confluence things that help when you're looking at a bounce, for instance. But that's something we'll dive into this week's webinars as well. Main topic of this week are patterns. Basically, Tuesday I take a look at chart patterns. Wednesday at wave patterns. Thursday, then I take a look at part 1 of beginning and advanced patterns for trading. Next week it's part 2. Then I take a look at Heikin Ashi and Ichimoku and basically his Nanet's weekly Forex recap, of course, always on Monday. Regarding the pound, I wanted to take a look at the wave patterns actually today instead of looking at the blank chart as I usually do. But as an exception, because of the massive 1,000 pip fall last week, wanted to take a look at the wave structure here just quickly. I think it was part of a wave 3, and that wave 3, the green here, and that wave 3 might not be finished, by the way, folks, but if it is, we could see a pretty long or lengthy wave 4 that basically starts to build a triangle like that. That's very possible. I think that's actually the most realistic scenario, is that price is going to make a consolidation a bit, make a pause. Let's face it, a 1,000 pip move is not something that happens every week, right? It was a big event and a big move. However it happened, it did happen. So yes, that was a big move from 128 down to 119, or 129 down to 119. So, you know, pretty substantial there. So I think that the size, I mean, the momentum that we had last week is indicating that that's a wave 3. That's typical for a wave 3. So I marked that as a wave 3. It could still be ongoing, but you know, that could happen. But I need to see a pattern basically occur here and a break of that pattern before I would be interested in trading it. I do expect a wave 4, which means that price should respect the 38, max the 50 fib probably, and that should be the max retracement. And once the wave 4 is finished, I would expect a continuation of this downtrend. So I'm not certain if this is a wave 3-4. It could still be part of wave 3 if we see a smaller triangle this week and a break. Probably it will be part of the green wave 3 still. If this week just makes a triangle and that's it, then I think it's more likely going to be a wave 4. So what I'll basically be doing, and I'll discuss this more on Tuesday and Wednesday, is looking at the patterns that are being made here and trying to judge then if trading it, breakouts or bounces make sense. At this moment, I do not want to trade it. I'm still waiting to see what kind of patterns it's going to build after this huge downside, this huge momentum in the wave 3. Looking at the hourly chart, by the way, this is exactly what I was showing on the wave analysis, is that I'm expecting a bit of a pattern here, a bit of a triangle, and I'll be waiting for that, as I said, before trading. All right, so far, dollar yen, I find interesting, very interesting, to be honest, in my opinion. I must admit, I like that breakout. Now, the pound dollar, I found interesting last week because of the push below the bottom. No, not so much, to be honest, as you can see. Very cautious with that. But the Aussie, I think, could be set up interestingly. I've been skeptical of the Aussie for quite a while. Week on, week on. I mean, I really didn't see much in the Aussie. Now I'm getting to a point that I think that the pattern could be close to completing. You know, if you look at the lines here, they're getting closer to each other. At one point, this has to start moving again, I think, and the Aussie could be close to that moment. I'm not sure if it's this week, but I think it's going to get close to that point. Now, if you look at the Aussie, of course, we're in this triangle. We got support line, resistance line. Pretty logical to say, okay, if it breaks here below S1 and the trend line, there could be a breakout to the downside. I would be skeptical of that. I would really want to see some good price action candle break below the Keltner and break below the S2 before I would trade the breakout on lower time frames. I think it's more of a bouncing spot. That's what I'm expecting, actually, a bounce at the S1 and the trend line, and I think that could be an interesting long for a move back up to the triangle, and perhaps this time it will break, because if we looked at the 4-hour chart, at least last week in the live webinar, I was saying that this could be a head and shoulders pattern here. I don't think it's going to break because of basically price respecting the resistance trend line here, and I expected an ABC zigzag down probably to the bottom. So we haven't reached the bottom yet. That's why I'm interested if price could make that one more tiny little move down. I think it could be interesting. There's a fib target, not only the S1 of the weekly pivot point, by the way, but we have the minus 61.8 target, the trend line. I think that could be an interesting buy. We could see it move up, and now maybe, just maybe this time, finally, we could see the breakout to the upside, and we could see Aussie strength. That's what I'm waiting for here, is the bounce and break. Let's see if it happens. Last but not least, the euro dollar, basically pretty choppy. This part is very rangy, pretty messy, to be honest here, and it's just not something I find interesting at this moment. It could be bearish, it could be part of this move like this, right, and go like that. It could be bullish too, really, like this and like that. So what I'm expecting is, for the moment, still a bearish break. It would need to break really below 111, then 110.50, then 110 before there's more space. So pretty small zones here, not that interesting until it breaks 110. The upside, if it breaks, yeah, I'm expecting resistance too at 114.50, 115. Not too interesting. Good maybe for shorts, but trading to the upside pretty small as well. So ultimately here, it could still stay like this, pretty small zone between 111 and 112.50. I'm not really seeing a lot of opportunity here at the moment. It's too rangy. It could break both ways. Although I am more bearish, to be honest. Ultimately, I think it's a bit more bearish pattern than bullish. But still, this zone, lengthy, choppy, don't see much at this point. And I would rather wait for Tuesday, Wednesday to see if there's any update on that. I mean, from this point of view, if you really look at the 1 hour chart, I wouldn't be surprised maybe to see a zigzag here and another zigzag here like this, what we've seen. It could keep doing that maybe for another, who knows, maybe the whole week. I don't know. But at this moment, nothing much to say. Thanks for joining this video. Hope to see you in the live webinars. Take a look at the website admiralmarkets.com for all of the analytics and articles that we bring out or publish each day. And wish you all, above all, great trading.